In the El Paso District, we have a powerful vision that guides what we aspire to become and what we do as people of God. We believe that every person in the geographical span of the El Paso District will find a place to belong, to believe, and be useful. We keep our prayers going and our efforts focused so that this vision can be experienced throughout the district. But what I want to share with you today is a reflection on how our powerful vision interacts with the recent decision of the special call session of the General Conference. As the head of the delegation of the New Mexico Conference, and also as your district superintendent, I offer this reflection. First, let me give you some background information. So in the month of February, 864 United Methodist delegates from around the world met in St. Louis, Missouri for General Conference. The intent of the conference was to find a way forward for our denomination as a response to the decades-old impasse on issues around human sexuality. To that end, the Commission on a Way Forward presented 3 church plans that would attempt to define the nature of the church. These plans and others presented by other groups or individuals provided different options on how to deal with ordination of self-avowed practicing homosexuals and whether or not to allow pastors and churches to officiate and celebrate same-sex wedding ceremonies. In my view, this General Conference was a church-driven main event to define the nature of our church based on church plans. In the end, the delegates voted 438 to 384 to adopt the traditional plan, which reinforces our denomination's bans on same-sex weddings and self-avowed practicing gay clergy. The plan also added enforcement measures, and in addition, the delegates did not approve the one church plan nor the simple plan, which would have allowed the ordination of self-avowed homosexuals and would left questions of same-sex weddings up to individual churches and clergy. The decisions made by the General Conference prompted all kinds of responses and reactions all over the world and from people from all theological orientations. The decision revealed also the brokenness of our denomination, and for many in the El Paso District may have brought some confusion as to the meaning and application of our vision. So let me share with you again our vision. We believe that every person in the geographical span of the El Paso District will find a place to belong, believe, and be useful. How do we reconcile this vision with the decision of the General Conference? A simple response to the General Conference's decision could be that our district vision can be used by both sides to advance their particular view of the church. So let me explain. So people with a conservative stance would favor the traditional plan, would use our vision to say that the church is a place for people to belong, believe, and be useful to the degree of their willingness to be transformed and bring under control of the Spirit our human tendencies that do not reflect the holiness of God, including homosexual behaviors and other sexual sins, and for that matter, the great list of human tendencies that pull us away from God. For them, the issue here is not of salvation, as everybody has been offered the invitation to receive salvation by grace. The issue here, conservatives would say, is one of sanctification, as everyone has been invited to experience God's sanctifying grace that transforms our human nature's sinful desires and ungodly behaviors. Now, on the other hand, people with a progressive stance who support the one church plan or any other church plan that affirms the LGBTQI community would use our vision to say that the church is that place where everyone can belong and believe and be useful, that all are welcomed and affirmed regardless of sexual orientation and without any need for transformation. On that area, as all people have been created in the image of God, there is nothing wrong with who we are because God doesn't make mistakes. The issue here, progressives would say, is that all human beings are sacred depository of God's love that is given to us without any strings attached. There's more that I can say from these two sides and how people who identify with either side would use our vision to support their perspectives. So in the light of their intent to use our vision, I offer this response. The vision of the El Paso District is not about the church. It is about the mission. Let me expand on this. I believe that the General Conference dealt with defining the nature of the church, and that the El Paso District vision deals with defining the mission of Christ. At the core of the General Conference was the intent